Grade 9 History. According to the scheme of work for the third midterm, we should do Lesson 5, Constitution Reforms and the National Independence Movement of Sri Lanka. Today I am going to do a part of that lesson. I am Tharuka Wijewardhana from Leeds International School, Horana. Imagine that you are a tea factory owner. You are getting good profit from your factory. Meanwhile, you are buying a small decline rubber factory. After some days, you realize that the expenditure of this rubber factory is higher than the income. Not only that, you have spent the profit of your tea factory for the necessities of the rubber factory. So, what are you going to do then? You must find out the reason for it. Same thing happened in Sri Lanka after 1815. Let's see what is it. Are you ready to go back hundreds of years with me? Okay, here we go. As we all know, after 1815, the entire country of Sri Lanka became a colony of the British Empire after they conquered Kandyan Kingdom. By about 1828, the government expenditure exceeded. Why is that? Let's see what are the reasons. Yes, first one is carrying out the administration of the country by dividing it as up country and low country. Not only that, the second one is paying salaries and facilities to British officers. So, the colonial secretary appointed a special commission. It was headed by W.M.G. Colebrook. Who was he? W.M.G. Colebrook. For what? To examine the situation of Sri Lanka and to examine what are the reasons to exceeding the expenditure of Sri Lankan government. Then who was the head of that commission? Yes, W.M.G. Colebrook. Who appointed him? The colonial secretary. It was named as Colebrook Commission. There were two main officers in this commission. As we know, first one is Colebrook. He had to examine the economic affairs and administration affairs. The next one is Charles Hay Cameron. He had to examine about judicial affairs. Then who were the main officers of Colebrook Commission? Colebrook and Charles Hay Cameron. Colebrook had to examine about economic affairs and administration affairs, while Charles Hay Cameron had to examine about judicial affairs. Let's see what are the significant features of this Colebrook-Cameron reforms. They came to our country and they examined about so many areas. At last, they proposed some changes to do in our country. Let's see what are they. First one was establishment of the Legislative Council and the Executive Council. Okay, let's see about the Legislative Council. Legislative Council was presided over by the governor. It was consisted of 15 members. How many members were there in Legislative Council? 15 members. As 9 official members with high-ranking government officials appointed ex officio and 6 unofficial members who were nominated by the governor as 3 Europeans, 1 Sinhalese, 1 Tamils and 1 Burgher. Now can you see all these unofficial members were appointed on communal basis. So it paved the way for controversies between different ethnic groups. And also, do you know, this Legislative Council laid the foundation for the parliamentary system that was introduced later. How many members were there in Legislative Council? 15 members. 9 official and 6 unofficial. Unofficial members were as 3 Europeans, 1 Sinhalese, 1 Tamils and 1 Burgher. Okay, the next one is the Executive Council. We already discussed about the Legislative Council. Next one, the Executive Council. There were high-ranking government officials in this Executive Council. Can you tell me who were the high-ranking government officials? Yes, first one is Governor. Next as Surveyor General. Right, the Governor. He presided over the Executive Council and also he had to consult about the administration and the financial affairs of this Executive Council. Right. The next significant feature of this Colebrook-Cameron reforms was introduction of a system of government in which the upcountry and the low country were merged. If you can remember, at the beginning we discussed the reasons to the exceeding of the expenditure of the Sri Lankan government. One of those reasons was dividing Sri Lanka into two as upcountry and the low country. To reduce that cost, under this Colebrook Commission, they proposed a system of government in which the upcountry and the low country were merged. The next feature is dividing the country into 5 provinces for administration. Earlier, our country was divided into 16 provinces. How many provinces? 16 provinces. But after these Colebrook-Cameron reforms, it was deducted into 5, from 16 to 5. And also appointed a government agent for each of them. The next feature is abolition of compulsory personal service system. What is compulsory personal service system? Do you have an idea? Let's see. Compulsory personal service system is providing services to the government free of charge by all adult males in the country for a specific number of days per year. It means if you were there and if you were an adult male, then you would work for the government free of charge without taking a salary for a specific number of days per year. Which kind of work? Restoration of tanks, canals, aqueducts, and construction of roads. So, what is compulsory personal service system? Yes, it is providing services to the government free of charge by all adult males in the country for a specific number of days per year. But after these Colebrook-Cameron reforms, this compulsory service system was abolished. Yes, Colebrook recommended that this system should be abolished. Why is that? Because it was a hindrance for people in enjoying their freedom as well as in working for their development. So, at last, it was abolished. Next one is expanding English education. Can you think why did they expand English education? If you can remember, at the beginning, I told you one reason for this exceeding expenditure in Sri Lanka was paying salaries and providing facilities to British officers. Then why did they bring British officers here? Yes, you are correct. They brought these officers here because at that time there were no sufficient local officers who could communicate with English and who were fluent in English. So, officers required for the administration affairs had to be brought from Europe. And not only that, they should be paid and provided facilities. To cut down these expenses, local officials should be employed. But the problem was English. To overcome that problem, these local officials should be given good English education. For that only, they expanded English education here. Summary of the lesson. The Colebrook Commission reached Sri Lanka to examine the situation and to make necessary recommendations. It was headed by W.M.G. Colebrook and Charles Hay Cameron. Significant features of this Colebrook-Cameron reforms: establishing Legislative Council and Executive Council, merged up-country and low-country, deducted the number of provinces into 5, abolishing compulsory personal service, expanding the English education. Hope you all got an idea about Colebrook-Cameron reforms. Try to answer these questions and check you could understand the lesson well.